Hey guys, hope you're having a fantastic day wherever you're in the world. Today we're going to be having homemade poke bowl. As many of you may already know, poke is a dish from Hawaii. Oh, that's really heavy actually. We have salmon sashimi in the middle. On the top we have macadamia nuts and sesame seeds sprinkled. I cubed up 3 avocados. Here we have seaweed salad as well as ginger and yam noodles and salmon roe, aka fish eggs. Those nice orangey bebes. And then we have mixed greens on the bottom, ranging from baby kale to baby lettuce. We're also gonna crumble up some roasted seaweed. This one I picked up at the Korean market about 1 or 2 weeks ago. These ingredients I picked up this morning at Mitsuwa, a Japanese market. This Japanese market has been around since I was in 2nd grade, so it's been over 20 years. Oh, time flies. And as side dishes, we have natto. This one is organic natto. Oh, look at how sticky this is. It's very cobwebby. It smells like a gym that had a bunch of teenagers sweating in it, but I personally like eating it. It tastes healthy. Here's a close look at the natto. Let me lift one up so you see how cobwebby it is. Look at that. Since we pulled it out, we'll bite into it. Oh, it's so sticky. It's like a gum. Very flexible gum. Oh, I need my toilet paper. So these days, the poke shops have been popping up like baby rabbits around here. And here we have kimchi natto. You know, kimchi is a Korean side dish, a very famous side dish. And here, it's like a fusion. It's like a Korean-Japanese mix here. It comes with the sauce. I got yuzu ponzu sauce. Never tried this brand before. So let's open it up. Actually, I'm not too hungry because while I was preparing this bowl, I was eating a bunch of these macadamia nut and avocado. Are you ready? Let's do, oh, maybe I need to shake this first. Actually, oh no. Very citrusy. And that is what makes it delicious. I'm going to be answering your questions from Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, but I saw a lot of questions on Instagram, so we're going to be answering those first. Where do we begin? Let's try some of the maybe I need a spoon. Let's try some of the salmon sashimi. Let's try some of the seaweed salad. And the yam noodles. The yam noodles are knotted. It looks kind of like a bow tie. Yam noodles smell a little fishy. Supposedly they're good for people on a diet because it has very little calories. Let's sprinkle on some seaweed, yes? Crunch it up. And just wazam. If we mix it all up, that'd be awesome, but it's very compact actually. Do you like to mix all your ingredients up and then eat it? I want to enjoy each ingredient as is while I eat it with my leaves. The yam noodles taste plain, has a very slight crunch. Oh, the sauce went to the bottom. You know what I need to do is unknot the noodles because there's just too many noodles in each bite. If I take the whole thing to my mouth, oh, I unknotted it. Oh, it's quite long. let's have some salmon roe. You just pop in your mouth. If you're wondering what this red drink is, it is made up of dried citrus, some dried flowers. It's not a drink for everyone, but I like medicinal flavors, so I enjoy this taste. Mark Will Nauer asks, how do I find a man that will treat me right? And some people, they use their mind to find someone. Other people use their heart to find someone. So what I mean by that is some people feel like, let's just go with the flow. If it feels right, let's go for it. Other people, they're like thinking in the future, like, is this gonna work? I don't know. It's like using your intuition versus logic. And love is not always a logical thing. I can't remember which Bollywood film it was from, but one of the characters said, when it comes to academics, use your brain. When it comes to finding the love of your life, use your heart. No advice is always 100% correct. Each advice has some sort of statistic. Some advices might have a 90% success rate. Other advice might have 50% success rate. But some advice might make you feel really good about it, although there might be a low success rate. And other advice might be very good advice, but might not make people feel good about it. So maybe not as many people will take that very good advice. So an example, someone might advise, it's way healthier to eat salad without any dressing. That the blander something is, the healthier it is. You might not like the sound of that, so you might not take that advice. Some advice, it can have ulterior motives. So listen to advice, but you don't need to follow every advice 100%. So once again, how do I find a man that will treat me right? You just have to date a couple frogs. And then when you find your prince, you hang out with him a little longer. And the longer he stays a prince, the longer you stay with him. One day he might turn into a frog. Sometimes you might be able to change him back to a prince. Other times, all hope is lost. And then goodbye. I want more leaves. Oh. Gotta pull them out. They're rooted in there. Oh, I have seaweed in my hair. Do you see that? Do you see the seaweed? When did it get there? What a ninja. Okay, this poke bowl tastes clean. Something I'll eat on an everyday basis. Typically when I eat at home, I don't mix my nuts with protein. But in this case, I just wanted to make a very interesting poke bowl. One that is fun to eat and one full of various color and various texture. The avocado. Here's a big, nice piece. Avocado is soft, creamy. And the seaweed salad, each of the strands are long. And as you could hear, crunchy, but it's also moist. And some crunchy comes in like a dry texture. And then we have the salmon sashimi, which is not as soft as the avocado, but it's still on the soft side of the spectrum. And the salmon roe is salty. And of course we have the macadamia nuts. The macadamia nuts are more of a muted crunch. And the seaweed salad is a bit translucent. And the colors, if you really think about it, it's unreal. Bright green. AnnaFishy96 asks, do you get bad jet lag? Yes. If so, how do you deal with it? In my earlier years, I didn't get jet lag. But in recent years, I've been getting it pretty bad. When I fly from California to Korea, I'm okay in Korea. But once I get back from Korea to California, up to 2 weeks, my schedule is totally off. I'm on vampire schedule. You know, the first couple times I got jet lag, I was fighting it so hard. The more I was fighting it, the more frustrated I got when I couldn't sleep at night at the normal hours. This time when I came back, I just accepted it. I was like, I'm gonna get jet lag. If you have a 9-to-5 job, then you have no choice but to go to work at 8 a.m. or whatever the time you need to start work is. In my case, my work schedule is a little bit more flexible. I still have upload schedule that I want to meet. So what happens is when I have jet lag, instead of working at 8 a.m. to like, you know, 8 p.m. or 6 p.m., I just work at like 3 a.m. You know, I just do my normal activities, but just in Korea time while I'm in California. Like, I normally don't take melatonin pills or melatonin supplements. This time I went to a shop that sells vitamins and all sorts of supplements. I asked them, what is a melatonin creating pill or thing you have that I could eat that my body won't create a dependence on? They recommended me this purple gummy, and I've been taking that if I can't fall asleep. 30 minutes before bedtime, and then I just knock out. Another thing I do to help me sleep is I meditate. I also like to go swimming. Basically, how I get rid of my jet lag is the same routine I would use for when I'm trying to get rid of my insomnia. I mean, oftentimes, like when I'm trying to sleep, all these thoughts and ideas come to my mind. I have some friends who keep a journal by their bed and they write at nighttime, and they said it helps them fall asleep. It takes things off their mind. Gauri Patil 153 asks, I wanted to know, how do you get the courage to go to a new country and explore on your own? Because it is very intimidating for me. Our fears are bigger than reality. Let's say you're scared of spiders. Spiders? Well, depending on where you are in the world. Spiders in Bali can be big like this when their legs are stretched out. But spiders typically in my area in San Jose are very small. And yet, the kids I grew up with were so scared of spiders, even if the spiders were smaller than my eye. The fear was like this big. The spider was like this. If you're visiting a country where there's a lot of political unrest, there's a lot of inequality, gender inequality especially, then you should be a little bit more wary of your surroundings. And maybe you should consider going to another country that's a little bit more stable. I would say the more you travel, the less scary the world seems to be. During your travels, you'll meet a lot of kind strangers, whether they are locals or expats, foreigners, other travelers. Of course, there's always a bad seed. There's always going to be bad people, but it's my belief that there is good in everyone, even in bad people. Sometimes people are bad because the way they were raised or something they experienced in their life. Unfortunately, that has created them to be bad. Instead of them fighting against the bad, they become part of the bad. I would say this big bowl is equal to 3 to 4 normal bowls of poke. And some people complain I eat too much. Other people complain I don't eat enough. Some people say I need to talk less. Other people say I need to talk more. I'm gonna just have to talk when I feel like it and eat when I feel like it, because you can't please everybody. I try to keep things balanced, but everyone's definition of balanced is a little bit different. If you really want to visit a country, but you're too scared, are you going to overcome that fear or no? Some countries you might be fearful for a good reason. Like going to North Korea, for example. It's not for everyone. But going to Los Angeles or New York, or just like your average mega city, people still might be a little fearful of that, even if it's not North Korea. Why are you fearful? Are people telling you that it's dangerous? Man, before I went to Thailand and Southeast Asia, people were saying, oh, you need to be careful, there's a lot of theft. Like if you leave your bag even for like 1 minute on your chair when you're not looking, it's gonna get stolen. People were feeding me so many fear-based facts. I'm sure there are facts, maybe it happened to someone else. It's not like every single traveler, something bad is gonna happen to them. If you practice, you know, street smart skills, then your chances of getting something stolen will decrease. Look, if you're wearing a 100K diamond ring on your finger and it's sparkling like no other day, and if you happen to walk by a thief and he sees that, the chances of your ring gonna get stolen is gonna be very high. However, if you had no ring at all, you're not gonna be a target. You need to have an asset. You gotta have something to get stolen for someone to try to take it. And let's say you didn't have any expensive things on you or not even much cash, but someone still tries to steal your purse. What are you gonna do? Things happen. Life happens. Most important thing is your safety. Musical Asian asks, can you please describe the hottest you've ever seen, met in real life? Now, you didn't give me a noun, so hottest food? Hottest person? Some of the hottest food I've met was in Thailand. Some of the hottest people I've met, hot people are all over the world. When I went to Korea, I saw some hot guys. When I went to Bali, I saw some hot guys. When I'm in California, there's hot guys. There's hot people everywhere. Every culture has their own type of beauty, and you learn to appreciate their beauty. You know, there's natural beauty, androgynous beauty, commercial type of beauty, like an abstract beauty. I keep bumping my chin on this plate. Lately I've been getting pimples on my chin. But thankfully the whiteheads are gone now. But if I still had a whitehead, I totally would have popped it by now. And then the salmon roe, seriously, it looks like eyeballs because this darker orange part is like floating to the top. So if you just set it in your noodles, it looks like there's a creature. Alright, so that's the salmon roe. And if you go in this area, there are two eyeballs just staring at you. It looks a little ghosty. Oh, I'm really full actually. I finished like 80% of the salmon. Nearly done with the ginger. There's no more seaweed salad left. Natto time! Are you ready to get cobwebby? And if you go like up and down, oh, this cobweb is so stubborn. Oh, you see that? Ooh, so stringy. It's definitely an acquired taste. Smell-wise, a person who freshly became a zombie, if they opened their mouth and went like, ah, to me, that's what it smelled like. It smells a little bit deathly. Mostly earthy. And yet I still like it. I don't know why. I just do. It's like that with love, you know? Sometimes you just fall in love and you're like, why do I love this person? Sometimes you just don't know, you just love them. Woo! Even if I pull the chopstick out of my mouth, there's like this little string. Okay, so this is the organic natto. Let's try the non-organic one. See what the difference is. Equal amount of cobwebbiness. You know, it's on my fingers. Very subtle difference between these two. Let's try the kimchi sauce. doesn't taste much like kimchi actually. It's just very sweet, very salty. I think the natto tastes better as is by itself, without the kimchi sauce. Satansu Yongi asks, have you ever been charged extra on an item for being a foreigner somewhere? Yes, pretty much. Probably every country. Sometimes you don't realize you're being overcharged. When it's like a fixed price department store, then probably are not being overcharged. If there's like a price tag stuck on there. But even then, like, there are times when you could haggle in Asia. If you are a foreigner who is familiar with the prices in any given country, then you could say, that's too expensive to the vendor. Then the vendor will bring it down. But if you look like a foreigner as well, then they might just overcharge you. It happens in Korea, it happens in Bali, happens in Vietnam, happens in a lot of countries. Scorpio 69696969. You don't know me? And I don't really know you, but I wish you will get married to me. I know this is not a question, but it's kind of a funny comment, so I just decided to share it with you. Would you still wish we got married if I had permanent salad stuck in my teeth? I mean, it sounds dramatic. You don't know me, and I don't really know you, but I wish you will get married to me. Shar99. Do you get worried when you try new food and you might get sick? If I'm scared and I don't take chances, any chances, how am I supposed to experience new things in life? It doesn't mean that you have to say yes to everything. I don't recommend saying yes to everything. That could get very compromising. You know what? Natto would be a great food to eat on Halloween. Because it's so like cobwebby. I know some people might get insulted by me saying that it smells a little bit like death, but I do like it. So Imperia Mist asks, do you think you'll ever return to veganism? Most likely no. I'm still open to the idea, but I highly doubt I will be like 100% vegan. Although I prefer eating a plant-based diet. If not, can you explain what changed your perspective? So when I was vegan and raw vegan, I moved to Asia for about 2 years. I was hopping between countries, particularly between Singapore and South Korea. And during that time, it was very difficult to be vegan because when you go out to social events, there's always meat involved. Meat. There's something about meat that is very bonding. It brings people close to the fire. When you're grilling something, everyone is centered towards that, looking towards that. Eating can be a very social experience. Here's the thing. Food can bring people together, but food can also be dividing. So the more open your palate is, the more food becomes a bonding agent between you and other people. The more limits you have with food, it burns certain bridges. And that's what I experienced, that's what I felt when I was traveling. Because of social purposes, as well as the fact that when I was traveling, it took a lot more effort to find vegan food. And especially if you don't know the country's language, it makes it that much more difficult to ask them questions about the food and how it was made and what ingredients are inside. It was a personal choice I made to become not vegan. Empathy asks, what is your sexual orientation? I answered this before. What do you think I am? Do you think I am into men, woman, both? Or maybe I'm not into men or women. Maybe I'm just into dolphins, or maybe I'm just into unicorns. There's a ton more questions left to answer, but I'm very full. Are there any more macadamia nuts? Yes. Yes. Oh, I love nuts. And so I hope you guys enjoyed eating with me. And I'll continue to answer your questions in the next mukbang. See you guys in the next travel video and mukbang. And don't forget to follow me on my social media at Miss Mina O. On Instagram, on Snapchat, on Twitter. I'm full. Bye you guys. Bye bye. Oh, my leg is sleeping.